Welcome, bosses, to Module 5, Knowing Your Numbers and Pricing Your Hair. I will be sharing my screen with you very quickly. Here we go. All right, there we go. Okay, again, welcome to Module 5, Knowing Your Numbers and Pricing Your Hair. We're going to get right into this module so that you can get started with the next portion of setting up your hair extension business. Here's our agenda for today. We're going to talk about the importance of knowing your numbers. We're going to talk about setup costs, running costs, cash flow, forecasting, and setting your pricing goals and financial goals, pricing your hair, and then I'm going to give you some price list examples with their target market. So let's get right into it. So what is the importance of knowing your numbers? This is something I figured out late in the game when I started my hair extension company, just kind of throwing ads out there, flyers, talking to people and stuff, but didn't really have any goals that I was working towards. And it's something that is really important because, as we see here, as you can anticipate what's to come, it's really important to know what's happening in your business and to know the numbers, how many people are buying, what's the average amount of hair you're selling a week, and if you have those goals set, you also know what to expect for the week. So that's something that you definitely want to make sure that you start now and not learn later like I did. It helps you to also increase sales and profits because you can continue to grow your business and increase and push yourself for more people as you start accomplishing your goals every week. So it's something, again, that you'll definitely want to do. Once I decided, on the week I would, I'm going to sell to 5 people this week, and I'm going to sell this many bundles, I'm going to sell this product. I would even break it down to this many curly bundles, or my special this week is going to be body wave bundles. And when I broke it down, I knew how many customers I needed. I was able to really focus on getting those people. Before I knew it, it became more people, and then more people and more people, which increased every week. And then it becomes something that's normal. And then you start to follow those trends. Okay, so you can start to see those trends and see, what week was pretty average, what week was over average, why did that happen? Maybe if something was below average, why? What did I not do? What products am I not marketing the most? So it's something that's really, really important for you to do in your business, and start now. You start right from the beginning, not later on once you start making some sales, okay? So it's really important to know your numbers. There's kind of a run through of what it's going to cost to start up your business and then to run your hair boutique. So of course you're going to need some samples. You're going to need, and again, as I shared with you in our last module, you just want to purchase 1 or 2 samples from people, so that shouldn't be too much that you're spending on samples. But again, you also want to make choices with the vendor that you're getting samples from. Okay, so don't buy a whole bunch of samples, just buy some, and so that shouldn't be too bad. Branding, marketing materials, and packaging, you need a logo, which you can get for $35 or more. We're going to go through how you can do that. Your bags, your tags and wraps, cards and flyers. So these are kind of some of the average breakdown of how you can get these things. The logo, of course, you can get through us with starting at $35, and then we have some other designers are a little more. You have the website design, which again, it starts with us at $195, and then it may be a little more. Domain name usually ranges from $12.99, $11.99 and up. Email marketing, if you choose to go with MailChimp, that will be $0. And then you may start factoring in like Facebook ads, Instagram promos that you're spending a month, your shipping materials and your postage, whatever you're going to use for your grand opening location supplies. These are all things that you're going to want to budget. So the total approximate amount that it may cost you to get started up is about $700. And this is something that's not, of course, spent in one sitting, so it can be spread out amongst the setup of your business. But it's something that you can definitely expect when it comes to setting up your business. Also, the things that you're going to need to run your business that are ongoing are like website maintenance. So whoever you're getting your website, whatever platform you're using, you're going to have a monthly fee for your website so that it can run properly. Any inventory that you're going to keep managing if you're going to be doing that yourself. Now, if you have a drop shipper or you're ordering as the customer orders, you don't have to worry about the inventory. Of course, if you're shipping out yourself, postage. But other than that, it's kind of some of the other things would just be email marketing if you don't go with the free service. So website maintenance, email marketing, our monthly upkeep things, and then the domain name would be annual. So the monthly upkeep and stuff is not bad once you get everything set up. Okay, so just consider that once you get started. Sales predictions and goals. Okay, so this is what you want to start thinking of. And like I said, something that I started doing way too late in the game, but just kind of thinking about where I'm going with my business. You want to start that now. So if in your business plan, you'll see where it says, what are you going to start? What do you want to make your first month, your first 6 months, your first year? And so this is a great way for you to start kind of thinking that. So what I started with is the average business. You'll usually start making, maybe you could start, especially with your grand opening, you could do like 1,000 a week, or maybe 1,000 in your first month, depending on, you got to think of how busy you are. If you have a job or you have other things that you're committed to and you're trying to kind of move your life around this, you have to take that into consideration and just be realistic. We all start somewhere. It's okay to make $1,000 in your first month or $500 in your first month if you've never made anything online before, made any profit from a business before. You have to start somewhere. So just be realistic with your goals and start that way. So we'll say that you start with $1,000 a week. That means it's 5 customers in that week. So hopefully in your first week, before your grand opening, you at least get 5 people to purchase from you, which is about $200 worth, and that's an average profit about $625. So that's $2,500 in your first month. Okay, so that's how you kind of break down your sales goals and your finance goals so that you can see what you need to do. I need to get 5 customers this week. And so if you started your first week, your grand opening, you have your 5 customers that purchased that price, you get pictures from them, you get feedback from them. That means in like a month or 2, you can go back to those 5 people and go back and say, are you ready for your next few bundles? So that's 5 more, that's $2,500 down the line that you're gonna get in resales, okay? So just keep that in mind. You need to always be in touch with your customer, make sure you're following up with them. And then of course you're going to be asking them later on about purchasing their next few bundles. So that the sale doesn't stop at the time that they purchase, okay? You have to stay in touch with them and build your customer base. So then you determine your profit and work backwards. That's how you kind of come up with your goals. So I break it down for you here. If you want to make $5,000 a month, how many customers would you need? And I want you to do that work on your own. That's a project for you to do and kind of work out right now. So I did my own. So for example, if the monthly goal is $4,000, that means I would divide 4,000 by 4 because there's 4 weeks in a month. That is a weekly goal of $1,000. So that means my daily goal would be $200, okay? So that's how you need to do. So I want you to do an example now on your own and do the math for $5,000 a month. If your goal was to make $5,000 a month, what would be your weekly goal and what would be your daily goal and how many customers do you need for that? Okay, so try that on your own and see if you can break that down. If you have any questions, of course, let us know over at support@mainelements.com. And this is how you're going to predict how you're going to set your goals and then break down the numbers so that you know exactly what you need for each month. All right, so then we need to determine our price list, okay? So you know your financial goals, but now we need to figure out our price list. And one of the first things you have to do before you determine a price list is to determine the target market. Who are you selling to? You cannot sell to everybody. You just can't. It's just, you can't. Okay, and I always give this example that, my 60-something-year-old mother would not be attracted to the same ad that a 20-something-year-old would be attracted to. So I can't sell to everybody, okay? So any kind of, whatever things you're saying or images you're putting up to attract to a 20-year-old, not all 60-year-olds, not all 50-year-olds will be attracted to that. So you cannot say you're going to sell to everybody. And it's vice versa. If I did an ad that was targeted to older, mature women, the 20-year-old and the 18-year-old are not going to be attracted to that. So you cannot sell to everybody. You want to make sure that you break down who your target market is. You want to use a 10-year, 12-year age gap, an age span between them, and focus on those customers, okay? So here we have it. Determine your target market. So working class customer, you would be averaging, starting their 12-inch at $50. So middle class is usually starting their 12-inch at about $75. And a high-end customer, you can start the 12-inch at $107 or plus for a high-end customer. So you can kind of bring your mind around that and decide which kind of customer you're going to be working with. So here's a kind of the age range, again, that you'll want to kind of keep in mind. So ages 16 to 22 or so, that may be your working class, and you want to keep in mind that this is kind of the high school and college age. And so, these are people who are getting money somehow to get their hair paid for. So whether that's from a parent or something, they're not working. The average, high teenager necessarily would not be working, and they're getting the money from a parent. So you have to think about that if that's who you're trying to target. 18 to 26 range, again, it's post-college or in college, newly professional. So, they're starting to get their own money. Some of them may be splurging, some of them not, but you got to keep in mind, again, this is still kind of the working class. And of course, that depends on career choice. And then another age range, you could do like 22 to 30-year-olds, 26 to 35-year-olds, getting a little bit more mature, 30 to 45-year-olds, and then 45 and up, which is a little bit more settled in their life and their career. So just kind of break down whatever those age ranges are for you, who you want to target, and then you can break down the pricing that way. You also want to include shipping into your costs when you're determining your price list. So the way that I do it is, say from your vendor, it costs, say it costs $10, or no, say it costs $26 for shipping from your vendor. Okay, so it's $26 for shipping for like 4 bundles. If they're going to ship out 4 bundles, it's $26. So I would look at my prices, and let me see if I can get my calculator up here. So I would look at my prices. So say my prices for a 12-inch is my wholesale prices. So my wholesale prices are 30 plus 35 plus 40 plus 45 for 4 bundles. It's $150 for 4 bundles. I would divide that by 4 because, so we have 30, 30 plus 35 plus 40 plus 45. Oop, that's not right. Plus 40. All right, so that's the price of my wholesale for a 12-inch, 14-inch, 16-inch, and 18-inch. And I know it's $150. So my shipping cost is $26 for 4 bundles, and that was 4 bundles, so I'm going to divide it by $26. So that's an average, about $5, $6 for each bundle to be shipped for my vendor. So I'm going to add about $6 to my wholesale price for me. Okay, so that includes the shipping price whenever I buy from my vendor. You understand that? Because you want to make sure that you include that, because that's something that some people forget. When you're going to buy from your vendor as your customer purchases, you still got to make sure that the packaging or the shipping has been added in. Okay, so my 12-inch was $30 before. If I average in my shipping, I'm going to add about $6. So my wholesale price really is $36 for my 12-inch, and just add the $6 to everything for your bundles. Okay, so make sure you average in that shipping so that it's being calculated somewhere. But you're still going to charge shipping on your end, you know, from your business. But for you as the business owner working with your wholesaler, you want to make sure you factor in those shipping costs. All right. Then your markup should be at least 100%. Okay, so that means if my 6-inch is, I'm sorry, if my 12-inch is $36, then my markup should be at least $36. That gets me at $72, which means I need to be working more with the middle class customer. Okay, if that is what you're running into, where you want to work with the working class customer, but your prices are a little higher, you have several options at that point. You either need to change the vendor and get a vendor that costs a little less, which means the quality may be a little different, but you know, it kind of comes with the territory. Or you're going to work to get that working class to see the value in your higher priced product. So it's one or two ways, okay? So you just have to make sure you decide which way you're gonna go. But if the working class customer is used to paying at least $50 for a 12-inch, that means you're gonna have to do some work to try to get them to see that they should be spending $72 on it, okay? So you just make that decision. It's nothing that we can tell you to do. People have done it and it works. You know, people buy what they want to buy at the end of the day. So if you're able to show the value in your product, then, you know, people will buy it. But if you feel like you know what it's like to go from paycheck to paycheck, trying to get some hair that will last you a few months, and from a brand that will have great customer service and work with you, then continue that and make sure you find a vendor that can fit in with the pricing that you need. All right, so this is the retail price equation. So if you're trying to find a retail price, you would do the cost of the item, which is like our $36, divided by 100 minus the markup percentage. So if I'm trying to do $100 or 100% markup, I would put the percentage in there times 100, and that'll get us to the 72, okay? If this equation doesn't make sense to you or you're not familiar with doing these equations, another thing that you can do is to go to this markup calendar, Omni calculator. It's a markup calendar, and you can just put in the numbers yourself. So the cost of my product is $36. I want 100% markup. So it's going to give me, my revenue is $72. So my profit is $36. So I'm making back what I spent and making $36 more. You could do a higher markup if you want, and you can put that in there. If you want to mark up 200%, you want to mark up 150%, you want to mark up 300, you can put that all in there, and it gives you the cost of the product. So it's going to be $144. That means you're going to make $108 from that $36 bundle. Okay, so this calculator also helps, or you can use this equation. Okay, so it does the same, it comes up with the same amounts. All right, so here's the breakdown of the price list for each customer. So working class price list example, and you also can see this and print it out in the hair extension price guide, which is in the library, and you can go and download that. But the working class target market usually makes less than $30,000 a year. They usually are purchasing from hair supplies, kind of the synthetic human mix, lower quality human hair, and not even necessarily, like a $50 bundle, which is not going to always last. It's not going to last them necessarily a year unless they take best care and you've just been able to find a great deal there. But they're usually purchasing several times a month to get, or every month or so, to make sure they keep their still looking good, but the purchases start at $50 a bundle. So if you were going to be working with this target market, here's a breakdown of the price list, and I just usually go up by 5. So your 12-inch would be $50, 14-inch would be $55, 16-inch, and these are your retail prices. This is what the customer is going to buy the product for, what price they're going to pay to buy it from you. 50, 55, all the way up to 95 for the 30-inch. The lace closures would be about 65, 70, 75 to 80 bucks. And then you can have your bundle deal starting at 155. So this list is here available for you. You're looking at it now, or like I said, you can go to the library and download the hair extension price guide. Okay, the middle class price list example. So the middle class target market usually makes between 40,000 and 70,000 or more a year. And they will work to save to get the hair that they want. So they're willing to spend $300 to $500 on hair as they save it, but they're usually purchasing about every 3 to 4 months for the different styles. But they also pay the salons for upkeep. They're able to afford that, so you can consider that too. If you're someone that works as a cosmetologist and you want to do hair deals with your services, you can consider that as well in some of your pricing, because they're going to be coming in every couple weeks to get their hair touched up. So that's the middle class target market, and those prices usually start about $75 for the 12-inch, 14 inches 80, and it goes up to about $120 for the 30-inch. So that's each single bundle. The lace closures usually start at about $85 to $115. Your frontals start about $110 to $140. And then you do have your bundle deals here that start about $210. Okay, again, this list is in your hair extension price guide in the library. Okay, if you're going to be working with a high-end client, they usually are making $80,000 or more, 6 figures a year, lives more of a luxury lifestyle, or they definitely indulge in the finer things in life and don't mind doing that. They buy hair as they want. They may want it straightened hair, but then they may want curly hair the next day. And this is not every high-end client, but this is something that you can just have as a scenario for yourself. And they'll get the different textures and styles as they want, and they can afford anything that's offered. So you could start at $107 for your 12-inch, and then go up to about $155 for your 30-inch. Your lace closures are going to start in the hundreds, about $115 to $130. Frontals, $150 and up to about $163. Of course, your bundle deals will start at about $300 and go up from there. Okay, this is kind of even low for high-end customer, if that's who you're trying to reach. So you can definitely, recalculate that and make it even more if you feel like that high-end customer would buy that. Now, one thing I found for people that, in regards to marketing and connecting with a target market, it's usually people who, come from, it's either people who come from what we know, so you're usually marketing to people around the same age as yourself and who's willing to do anything. If you've never paid $600 for hair, then it's going to be hard for you to try to convince other people to purchase hair at $600 because you've never done that, or I can't imagine doing that. So it's something that, so usually if you're good at, if you're fine and understand having to buy, bundles for 3 bundles for $200, then that may be the target market that you're going to want to focus on. Then, of course, the high end. And so it's just usually our target market is someone that we can relate to, because you can market to them because you know how they feel in regards to a shopping situation. So it's just something that you can start with. Of course, prices always change. I've seen, people that I've worked with that started in a working class environment where they were starting with a $50 bundle and getting people to buy. And of course, as they're getting more successful, they see that it's okay, that they are willing to spend a little more on hair or on things. And so they may raise their prices, and the people that want to stay with them will go from there. But it's definitely a process, and you need to just get there. But just make a decision on a target market you want to start with right now and go with that. Don't change a whole lot of stuff. Don't go back and forth. Stick with that and find the vendor and the wholesaler that's going to be able to service you with these prices. The goal in business is to make a profit. So even though the hair may be great and you love it, but it's not fitting the market that you are looking to reach, you're going to have to find a new vendor. Okay. I've had lots of clients like that. They love the hair, but they know that their client is not going to spend a lot of money on this hair because they wouldn't even necessarily as a retail price. But your goal is to make money, so you can't lowball yourself just because the hair is so great. There's no reason for you to be in business then. Okay, so got to make some decisions there and just move forward. And then, of course, you want to start creating your own price list. There is one of these in your business plan, or there's an entire list in the hair extension price guide in the library, so you can print that off and start filling this up. Your wholesale price, your percentage markup, what the retail price is going to be, and then you want to do your profit, which is the retail price minus the wholesale price. So just in case you need that math, if my wholesale price was $36, I'm doing a 100% markup, so my retail price is $72. I want to figure out my profit, so I'm going to do $72 minus my wholesale, which is $36, so my profit is $36. Okay, and that's how you determine how much you would make a bundle. Alrighty. Okay, so your action items after this module are to set your financial goals for your business for your first month, your first 6 months, your first year, finalize a vendor and get your wholesale price list from them so that you can start working on your price list, your retail price list. And then, of course, you can send it over to us if you need any feedback or need any help. But I do want you to, to try to work on this and get it started. If your wholesale price is, again, $30 for your 12-inch, you want to go over and figure out what you want your retail price to be based on the target market you want to work with. Then you're going to decide how much markup you're going to have, which, again, the average is about 100%. And then you subtract the two to come up with your profit. Okay? So start working on that and try to do that. And then, of course, if you need any help, go over to support@mainelements.com, and we will be here to help you. Don't forget to join our Facebook group and our community, the Main Boss Lounge, so that you can stay in the loop and get in on our conversations over there. Make sure you contact us over at support, Jasmine, Andrea, or Eddie, and we'll be there to help you. And of course, my email address is tamara@mainelements.com. Thank you for joining me for Module 5. You can go ahead and get started with your action items. And once you're ready, you can move on to Module 6. Thank you. Bye-bye.